company for designing our special cocktail. Welcome back to our 49th annual awards showcase, and hopefully that was one of no more tech issues. Tammy, would you like to introduce us to the awards this evening?
Absolutely. The Award of Merit for Excellence in Exhibitions recognizes a recent outstanding, innovative, and/or creative achievement in any and all aspects of exhibition development and design, including content and curatorial choices, presentation, organization and format, interpretation, community relevance, and so on. Exhibitions may be permanent or temporary, on-site, off-site, or online. They may be of any size, from a single display case to a whole collection of historic buildings. It may reflect an all-new approach to museology in general, or it may be something that the individual museum has never done before. In other words, anything goes. And our nominees for this award have put together some fantastic highlight reels to show you what they've been up to.
Two Rivers Gallery, Redress, Sacred Obligation, Indigenous Voices on Reconciliation.
Hello, and greetings from Two Rivers Gallery, located in Prince George on the traditional unceded territory of the Lheidli T'enneh. In July 2019, Two Rivers Gallery opened an exhibition titled Redress, Sacred Obligation, Indigenous Voices on Reconciliation. The exhibition focused on the experience of residential schools and the resulting legacy expressed through Indigenous voices. It was my privilege to work with independent Indigenous curator Rose Spahan from the Lower Nicola and Tsartlip Nations as we developed this exhibition, and I would like to share with you the statement that contextualized the exhibition with her permission. In the early planning stages of this exhibition, George Harris and Rose Spahan met with the Northern Indigenous Arts Collective in Prince George to meet artists representing the area. We shared some food and smudged together with cedar and sage and began our work in a good and positive way. We named the exhibition Redress, Sacred Obligation, in order to reflect an empowered posture. This title embodies strength, determination, and cultural sovereignty in accord with the diversity of views on reconciliation that comprised this exhibition. In turn, artists' reflections on residential school traumas, anti-Christian sentiments, politically charged messages, spirituality, and resilience were expressed through visual art as personal signatures. Artists of our First Nations are held in high esteem in our Indigenous communities, and Redress showed their warrior spirit as they produce work that is mindful and empowering. We all have our stories that carry responsibility to our voices. Various nations with similar experiences and personal pain formed a powerful point of view, hoping to promote healing and understanding. During the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's inquiry into the policies and operations of Canadian residential schools, more than 6,200 statements were recorded by survivors describing a nightmare lived by many Indigenous people. Two Rivers Gallery acknowledges this terrible history. This exhibition focused on the residential school experience and its resulting legacy expressed through Indigenous voices. It embodied recollections, assertions of strength, defiance, and empowerment expressed in a broad range of art forms and media. It aspired to be a step forward in the journey towards healing and drawing together at the core of the reconciliation process. We need to find a way to work and live together. These artists revealed a healing path through art. With heartfelt regards, Rose, Two Rivers Gallery, and I would like to thank and acknowledge the 22 artists whose work comprised this exhibition. Mike Alexander, Christy Auger, Crystal Bain-Detia, Margaret Briere, Liz Carter, Lee Claremont, Joan Cardinal Schubert, Wabi Macoons, James Darren Corbiere, Emily Dundas Oak, Tomosin Charles Elliott, Karen Erickson, Pat Gauthier, Monique Hurteau, Carla Joseph, Keith Kerrigan, Les Lai, Luann Neal, Carrie Newman, Jennifer Anne Piggin, Leonard Paquette, Patricia June Vickers, and Lawrence Polya Hoylupton. Chief Dr. Robert Joseph stated, "Our future and the well-being of all of our children rests with the kind of relationships we build today. This exhibition represented a step towards healing and a drawing together. We are honored and deeply moved to be trusted with the sharing of these stories of these artists as a step towards healing and building and rebuilding relationships and equality. From Rose Bahan, Two Rivers Gallery, and myself, thank you very much.
Museum of Vancouver, Acts of Resistance.
Hi everyone, Lorenzo here from the Museum of Vancouver. Today we're going to be chatting with Sharon Fortney, Curator of Indigenous Collections and Engagement here at MOV. She's also the curator of our latest feature exhibition, Acts of Resistance, which opened in February earlier this year. Let's head into the gallery and chat with her now. So Sharon, can you tell us a bit more about Acts of Resistance and Indigenous engagement here at the museum?
Sure. So I'm really proud of how Acts of Resistance turned out. I was wanting to do it for over a year before we actually were able to mount the show. It really speaks to the engagement strategy that we're trying to implement here at the museum, where we want to showcase issues that are important to the contemporary Indigenous community. We're not just looking backwards, but we're looking forwards as well. And so this speaks to a lot of things that we see in the media today around resource extraction and Indigenous right and title. And so we're very happy that we're able to give a voice to the local community about an issue that's of great concern to them. And I was very interested in doing a display with these banners from about the first moment I saw them, which was live streamed on Facebook when activist Will George, a friend of mine, was hanging from beneath the Second Narrows Bridge. And unfortunately, the banners were in police custody for about a year. And then we worked with Greenpeace Canada to collect the banners for the museum collection. And then we worked with all the artists to put their story on display. And we all understand that First Nations people have, an ancient history here in these lands, but sometimes people forget, that they're still actively part of the community. And so we're not a traditional anthropology museum. We're, very interested in displaying urban culture or other things that are happening in the community are really important to us.
And since COVID-19, we've had to make some changes to the gallery space as well. Can you touch on any of those?
Sure. So the idea behind the exhibition was that there'd be a little bit of movement in it. So it comes through in how the banners have been suspended with clips and they're on ropes and lines so they can move slightly when people walk by. And to give the sense of what it would be like, to be hanging underneath them, we had hammocks at each of the entrances. And we also had a swing here in the center of the gallery where you could sit and watch the films that we've made. But because they're high-touch services, we've had to take them down, unfortunately. But they were very popular while they were up. And then we've also been able to digitize the exhibition as a virtual tour because of COVID-19. So you can actually, if you can't come to Vancouver and visit the exhibition, you can see it online under the Explore the Museum tab of our website. And I think it's a really great resource for teachers, looking to teach contemporary issues to First Nations studies students in, say, high school, and also could be a resource for younger students, interested in Indigenous art.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Acts of Resistance is on view here at the Museum of Vancouver until the end of the year. You can also access, as Sharon said, the virtual tour online and any other information on the museum and this exhibition at museumofvancouver.ca.
West Vancouver Art Museum, Designed for Living, West Coast Modern Homes Revisited. This project uniquely celebrates designers and homeowners' efforts to preserve modernist homes constructed during a nationally recognized period of intense innovation on the West Coast. West Vancouver is home to many important examples of modernist residential architecture, and due to their age, the owners of these homes are reaching a juncture between the two options of significant renovation or demolition. This project celebrated successful examples of historic modernist homes that have been preserved through renovation rather than demolished completely. This exhibition is one of a number of projects from the last 15 years at the West Vancouver Art Museum that seeks to highlight the architectural movement of West Coast modernism that has been prevalent in its community for 70 years. The focus of this exhibition was innovative, matched in excellence by the manner of presentation, engagement with visitors of all ages, and the curatorial choices made concerning resident selection and collaborators. Touchstone Nelson Museum of Art and History, a mountain biking retrospective.
Hi, my name is Astrid Heyerdahl, and I'm the Executive Director of Touchstones Nelson Museum of Art and History. And today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of mountain biking in Nelson.
Touchstones Nelson worked with the community to compile a comprehensive examination of the often disputed, sometimes controversial history of mountain biking in Nelson and area over the last 25 to 30 years. Although the history of mountain biking is often disputed among the experts, those who were there in the very beginning, we can say that in the 1970s, North American mountain biking's roots can be traced back to Crested Butte, Colorado, and more specifically, Marin County, California. In the 1980s, the sport made its first subtle foray into Canada via BC. The sport began to migrate into interior BC's parks and forestry roads, usually by skiers looking for something comfortable to do in the warm weather months. In the 1990s, trail building, stunts, bridges, and wheelie drops had become increasingly commonplace amongst North Vancouver's mountain bikers. And as young riders from the city moved inland, so too did mountain biking's radical new trends. Up-and-coming bike shops and industry businesses began to sprout up throughout the Kootenays, and with them came aspiring trail builders, keen young photographers, and cinematographers, and both male and female riders who soon would go on to become some of the world's best mountain bike-bound athletes, a new school of high-flying, orthodox-defying thrill seekers, known fittingly as free riders. In current day, with BC mountain bike revenues having increased 100% in the last 10 years to over $70 million annually, the sport has become a case study in the success of the province's world-leading adventure sport tourism sector. Nelson's trails now total over 140. There are hundreds more in the Kootenay community in resorts of Roslyn, Fernie, Golden, Kimberley, and beyond. Today, Nelson is home not only to some of the world's best and most diverse riding, but also an inspiring collection of global mountain biking champs, legends, filmmakers, photographers, businesses, and an ever-increasing biking community that now reaches back over 3 generations. Why is showcasing the history of mountain biking important? It was clear from the response that the history of this sport is so crucial to many in BC and in Nelson. We responded to the community's desire for content and historical discussions that were truly relevant to them. We had thousands of people view this exhibition and more people at the opening and closing parties than ever before in our history. This exhibition brought in so many people whom had never stepped foot into the museum before, and people from throughout the region who were so thrilled that a museum was showcasing their personal history, their deep love of this sport and of the forest. Most importantly, this exhibition was beyond a simple celebration and recounting of history. It was a critical look at what mountain biking is and does beyond the joy, the thrill, the connection, the meditative aspect of all extreme sports, and the tourism and economic benefits. We created a critical conversation about land, about the environmental impact of mountain biking in the region, of the responsibility of mountain bikers to care for and understand the land they're using, not just simply ripping down a mountain and hucking one of their favorite jumps without seeing a larger picture. It was essential to talk about land use and, of course, Indigenous land, and what has been done, or in many cases, unfortunately, not done, in co-development with the Indigenous nations in this region. We also spoke of equity, of inclusion and access. Mountain biking is an expensive sport with all the equipment required. It is not accessible to all. And what does it mean when we showcase a history that is celebrated by so many and yet still excludes? Ultimately, this exhibition was beloved by Nelson and area, and even with its flaws, as of course there are always some, we hope to tour this exhibition throughout our region to engage other mountain bikers in critical conversations about the sport alongside joyful celebrations of its history. Thank you.
Vancouver Holocaust Education Center, Treasured Belongings, the Hahn Family, and the Search for a Stolen Legacy.
Hi, my name is Ilona Schulman-Spar and I am the curator of the exhibition Treasured Belongings, the Han Family and the Search for a Stolen Legacy here at the Vancouver Holocaust Education Center. This exhibition tells the story of the German Jewish Han family, the owners of one of the most prominent silver Judaica collection in pre-war Europe. It illustrates how they navigated Nazi persecution that resulted in the displacement and separation of the family members, the theft of their art collection, including other belongings, as well as the ultimate murder of their matriarch and patriarch, Gertrude and Max Hahn. One of their descendants, Dr. Michael Hayden, lives in Vancouver, and that is also where the collection is located today. I stand here in front of one of the most prominent pieces of the original collection and also of this exhibition. It's a Kiddush cup from the mid-1700s. It's a silver-gilt, beautifully crafted cup that tells the story of Jacob from the Old Testament, and that's why this cup is also called the Jacob's cup. This cup represents the so far only restituted piece of the original collection that was given back to the family. It was found or discovered in a museum in 2018 in Hamburg, and shortly after was given back to the family. This cup has a prominent spot here in the exhibition at the beginning of the exhibition, but also what is the end of the exhibition. At the beginning, representing the history, but also at the end representing the now, this recent breakthrough of the families' endeavor for restitution, but really also the still ongoing search for the 154 objects that are still missing today. This exhibition illustrates the intricate interactions between the rightful owners, museums and museum staff, as well as governments involved in the restitution processes. It also shows the struggle of all of these parties when addressing stolen art in the context of historical wrongdoings.
Museum of Surrey, Being Punjabi, Unfolding the Surrey Story exhibit. This exhibit and project is also nominated for an Award of Excellence in Community Engagement.
Going back to the long period of over 100 years of people being silenced, really, told you can't have the vote, you can't be treated as equal citizens in this country, being refused entry to Canada, like the situation of Komagata Maru. You know, after all of this 100 years of being told, be quiet, you don't have a valid voice, then it's very hard when you start asking the community, hey, please come forward and tell us your story. People are quiet, they're silenced, they're afraid. And it's so important that we tell the personal stories.
The first Punjabis to come here were soldiers of the British Indian Army on tour of the Commonwealth at the time of Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. Now, 125 years later, over 250,000 Indo-Canadians make Surrey their home, the majority of whom are Punjabis. As a community historian, when I found out about the Museum of Surrey curating an exhibit about Punjabis, I was delighted to join the advisory committee. The museum made it clear that being Punjabi, unfolding the Surrey story, was to be about the community and was to be developed by the community themselves, which is tremendously important at this time when we understand that there is a dire lack of diverse voices in the heritage sector and in the museum world in general. Being Punjabi, Unfolding the Surrey Story was presented in Punjabi and English and shared Punjabi voices using written words, recordings, video, objects, art and images. The exhibit featured over 140 objects, 90% of which came from the community. No object was refused. A few objects were specially loaned, such as historic documents from Simon Fraser University Library and a brick from the Museum of Vancouver. The exhibit also featured 14 original video interviews and 8 oral histories from Punjabi pioneers. 7 artworks and over 20 books by Punjabi artists and authors were presented from Surrey, and 16 text panels were written by community writers.
Hi, I'm Colleen Sharp. I'm curator of exhibits here at the Museum of Surrey. The Being Punjabi Unfolding the Surrey Story exhibit was the culmination of a 3-year journey where we interacted with community members, we did a broad media campaign, community engagement sessions, and lots of word of mouth and talking to people. As a result, the exhibit featured hundreds of stories of the Punjabis of Surrey. It was very important to the Museum of Surrey that we engage the community and not only allow them to tell their story, but let them tell the story in their own voice directly. In a way, I became more of a facilitator than a curator. We invited community members to offer their objects in the exhibit. The community members defined what was important to them. Like a magical giant show and tell, the exhibit showed whatever community members told us they wanted to show and tell us about.
So amazing now for me to be able to see that, but for the younger generation to see that someone like you is on such, a high platform, that's huge, because growing up we didn't have that.
The Awards of Excellence in Community Engagement recognizes a recent outstanding success in community engagement as demonstrated by the museum's response to and support of the needs of the community, the ongoing participation of new audiences, the development of new partnerships with community organizations, and many more factors through innovative programming. This may be exhibit-based, school-oriented, standalone, or even focused on volunteer engagement. It may be delivered on-site, off-site, or both. Again, our nominees have prepared something to showcase their initiatives.
The nominees are the Museum of Surrey's 3-year Punjabi Community Engagement Project. I believe the video that we just watched summarizes this project and exhibit exquisitely. Thank you so much to the Museum of Surrey for providing that for us. The Greater Vernon Museum and Archives Isolate and Create platform. A member of the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives is joining us live this evening, and I invite you to unmute and start your video if you'd like.
Hi.
Hello.
Have it here. Thanks. So good evening. My name's Amanda Schatzko, and I am a local government official. And I would like to acknowledge that I'm speaking with you live from the unceded territory of the Okanagan Silks people this evening. And the story behind the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives nomination for excellence in community engagement is their ability to innovate and adapt. So you see, what happened was when COVID-19 hit, many businesses and cultural and heritage organizations had to close their doors to the public. And many were unsure where their future revenues would come from and what to do about it with staff. So what happened was a conversation was struck in our community among cultural groups to talk about the difficulties in their industry. And what rose from it was an idea that businesses wasn't going to happen as usual, and there was a need to pivot to online engagement. With funding and support from the Regional District of the North Okanagan, the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives stepped up to the plate to design and develop an online platform called Isolate and Create. And it played an essential role in our community. By partnering with cultural organizations from galleries and art centers to Indigenous groups to record, produce online activities and historical knowledge that educated, entertained, and engaged our local community while they self-isolated at home. Importantly, this platform and its funding allowed the organizations for the first time to develop online content, to engage the community, pivoting from in-person interactions to bringing their exhibitions into the homes of visitors and guests. And given the circumstances, it allowed the museum to grow their skills in mounting virtual exhibitions, which is a global trend in museums and galleries around the world. The online platform has created an opportunity for arts, culture, and heritage organizations to come together and collaborate on an online platform that provides a space for organizations and projects to share information, stay top of mind, and interact with existing new audiences through cross-promotion. During a pandemic, the Isolate and Create platform has given people hope, and that is really important right now in the circumstances that we're in. It gave inspiration and a way for everybody to connect. The Isolate and Create has been an immense community impact, from seniors in the community stating that it has saved their lives while they're isolated at home during COVID-19, to generating volunteer membership for the museum, supporting local businesses, and providing a safe and inviting space for those isolating at home to connect with members of their community, as well as learn and educate with creative content from local experts and organizations. The online platform has allowed the general public, seniors, children, families, to stay safe and at home, and while they're self-educating, learning something new, and gaining access to innovative programming. While the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives and their partners' initial goal was to engage their local community and rural interior of British Columbia, they've actually received feedback from across the nation, demonstrating success and evaluating and measuring the platform's reach. As Vice Chair of the Regional District of the North Okanagan, I want to say congratulations, Greater Vernon Museum and Archives, for your nomination, and everybody that's here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The Exploration Place, Critter Convos, and Collection Vault Convos, who I also believe will be joining us live this evening. So at this point in time, I invite you to share your camera and unmute.
Hi, everybody. We're very excited and honored to have been nominated for this award tonight. Only one of us at this point, if we're not living in online, we're not living at all. But when we shut down on the 13th of March, what we decided we needed to do was reach our community in whatever way was going to be possible. And that was definitely online. Part of what we learned there and very quickly was that we needed to be live. So I pulled on the incredible team that I have and brought both our head keeper Sabrina and our assistant curator Chad into the foray. And what we did was started offering daily events at 10 a.m. for our community that grew and grew and grew in attendance, in online participation. It was a real eye-opener for me because we hadn't invested in YouTube in the past. We hadn't invested in an online presence. And the fact of the matter is they had me as their cameraman, so things only got weird from the beginning and weirder as we worked our way into it. But the live is what worked. And the live is what brought everyone back. And by the time we had rounded out about 2.5 months worth of these events, we were seeing more online visitation than we would normally see over the course of a year. So with over 100,000 engagements under our belt, we're excited to be able to continue our online offerings. And we'll see what we can do about getting a better cameraman. So thank you and great evening. Enjoying seeing everyone. Congratulations to everyone who's been nominated. This industry, this province, we're leading the way.
Thank you so much. The Surrey Art Gallery's Indigenous Contemporary Art Education and Engagement.
Located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples, including the Kwantlen, Katzie, and Semiahmoo nations, the Surrey Art Gallery has a history of collaborating with Indigenous artists through exhibitions, teaching and learning opportunities, residencies, and more. In the 90s, with art education PhD student Ivan Eagletail, the Indigenous Contemporary Art Workshop was developed to share, in Surrey schools, art by Indigenous artists from the gallery's permanent and public collections. Focusing on local Coast Salish and Northwest Coast cultures, Indigenous artist educators support teaching and learning with stories, touchable art, and hands-on art activities growing out of their own practices. The gallery continues to work with Indigenous artists, connecting and inviting the public to participate and engage creatively through recurring family, youth, and adult programs. Online resources extend learning beyond the classroom, furthering understanding of historical and contemporary matters through Indigenous art. Collaborating with Indigenous artists enables deepening learning about land, territory, and our shared responsibilities. Surrey Art Gallery reflects and responds to the needs of teachers, students, and visitors, as well as the nations and communities it serves. Working together by sharing our diverse perspectives increases our understanding of one another and contributes to positive change for generations to come.
Congratulations to all the nominees for the amazing work that you have done. We are now going to move on to the People's Choice Awards. For the first time ever, BCMA presents the People's Choice Awards. Audience members are able to vote on their favorite institutional nominees. The winner will receive the coveted BCMA mug. Using the poll, you now hopefully will see in front of you. Please select your People's Choice winner. And if everything works out tech-wise, the winner will be announced at the end of the showcase. By seeing that people are voting, I am so happy to know that this is actually working. All right, if your vote isn't submitted yet, lock it in now. Thank you so much. I'm delighted that that worked. At this time, we want to thank you so much for submitting your vote for the People's Choice Award. We also would like to invite you to join us for a brief 10-minute break, stretch your legs, refresh your cocktail, or make a tasty snack with us. Please enjoy. so tasty. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you had a chance to make a delicious snack, stretch your legs, go for a little walk, maybe feed the dog, refresh your cocktail. Tammy, would you like to introduce us to the Distinguished Service Showcase?
Absolutely. In fact, we are thrilled to honor this year's Distinguished Service Award nominees in ways we've never done before. This award recognizes an individual who's made a unique and outstanding contribution on a regional, provincial, or national basis to the museum, gallery, archives, or heritage field over an extended period of time. Those who nominated someone for their community for this prestigious award are understandably and justifiably very proud of the people they have nominated, and I have a few things to tell you about them.
Barbara Bell.
My name is Gwyneth Evans, and I nominated Barbara Bell, the beloved archivist at the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives, for the BCMA's Distinguished Service Award. Barb has put in 40 years here at the GVMA, and I'm sorry, Barb, you probably didn't want me to say that, but she has had such a huge legacy here. She's been an education coordinator before she was an archivist, and now she is our archivist, and she's amazing in this position. She's had so many accomplishments during her career. She had, a lot of influence as an education coordinator. The students loved her. They took really well to her. I think her passion was really infectious for them. And she really helped to strengthen the museum's role as a service and education provider. She was almost always fully booked as an education coordinator, and it just goes to show, how much success she had in this position. As an archivist, she's had tons of accomplishments over the years. I would say one of them was the creation of a pictorial history of Vernon called The Valley of Dreams, a hugely popular book. Unfortunately, now it's gone out of print, but the museum does want to bring it back because it was so successful and we get people asking about it all the time. And I think it was so successful because Barb and the other museum staff members that were involved in it were so careful in their research, and their excitement about the history really translates through the book. I would say some of the key impacts that Barb has had over the years are her mentorship of other staff members. We've had a lot of staff turnover recently, and Barb has been here through it all. She's been patient with everybody who's new. She's trained several young individuals and new staff members and encouraged them to be excited and to love the archives as much as she does. She trained an intern in the archives named Christine Waltham, who is now working at Library and Archives Canada, and she's also had a huge influence on me personally and inspired my passion for archives and archival material. And I think encouraging young people to get excited about this field is huge in this day and age, especially when GLAMs are suffering from, you could say, a lack of interest by young people and up-and-coming professionals. And so Barb's ability to excite young people and get them interested in this work is amazing. 3 words I would use to describe Barb are dedicated, passionate, and humble. Thank you for your service, Barb.
Julie Fowler.
With the great honor and pleasure of nominated Julie Fowler for this award. She's the executive and artistic director of Island Mountain Arts in Wells, BC. Has been up there in that organization for over 17 years, working her way up from a student summer grant, taking advantage of every possible grant opportunity, from a part-time employee to a full-time employee, taking the organization from a budget of less than $100,000 to one of close to $750,000 in that period of time, and making connections not just across here, British Columbia, but across the country and internationally. It's, well, the key accomplishments, it's pretty incredible the amount of work that Julie's put into this organization over the years, but not just here. She sat on the boards of the BC Museum Association, Arts BC, Canadian Folk Music Association. She's called upon as a lecturer. She's an author. And in above all that, she's been running this amazing organization at the end of the road in a small town of 250 people in the dead center of the province, Island Mountain Arts. She's brought together artists from around the world to come to their classes in the summer. She's raised their revenues tenfold from less than about $75,000 when she started to about almost $750,000 now. Created the Arts Wells Festival and a whole bunch of other amazing programs up there in Wells. And like I said, she has certainly represented British Columbia and Canadian artists, both nationally and internationally, through the connections that she's made through the festival, through their visual arts programs, and through their other exhibitions and various other programs that they do. Well, Julie's impacts stretched long before her time in Wells, when she was involved with the Living Closet organization in Vancouver in the 1990s, creating opportunities for local artists to not only connect, but also perform and get their work, both visual, theater arts, musical arts, get their work out to a larger audience and building community in Vancouver. From there, she moved to Concordia University, where she co-founded the Arts Matters Festival. And in its first year, with a bunch of other people, they won the Force Avenir Award, which is one of the leading student awards for community impact in Quebec that year. And that festival continues to run to this day and is now the largest student-run festival in North America. From there, Julie, through her friend Beth Holden, came to Wells, BC, and started as a volunteer at Island Mountain Arts, and has grown that, or as I said, that organization tenfold from her time there. But more importantly is the amount of artists that she's impacted along the way through the Arts Wells Festival, which would have celebrated its 17th anniversary this year. Describe the nominee in 3 words. I'd say inspired, compassionate, and dedicated.
Gerald Borden.
Jerry Borden is the president of Heritage Abbotsford Society. He's retired now, but in his career, he's worked with Heritage on a local, provincial, and national level. But Jerry continues to advocate for and educate about heritage even in retirement in a volunteer capacity and through his position as our president of the society. He's also a very much valued volunteer for the society. His professional career in heritage includes positions with Alberta Tourism, Parks and Recreation, with Parks Canada as commemorations officer, and as interpreter, and also partnership and volunteer liaison officer at Fort Langley National Historic Site. But it is, for me, I know him as the president of Heritage Abbotsford Society. He's worked relentlessly towards the betterment of the museum and the heritage community, not just here in Abbotsford, but outside in our region. He's been instrumental in the development of partnerships with sort of non-traditional partners outside of the more narrow heritage network, and sort of creating a wider cultural network and driving the society towards a more sustainable project. He fosters and supports purposeful applied research and has worked to provide a supportive and safe learning environment in BC while keeping on top of the professional standards and best practices. His mentorship has been instrumental in moving the heritage sector forwards, not just here in Abbotsford. He's always pushing staff, directors, members, volunteers to strive for the best and seek out and embrace new opportunities for professional growth. And Jerry has devoted considerable time and resources, of his own time and resources, I should say, towards mentoring and supporting emerging heritage professionals. It's through them that his legacy will continue to be felt in museums and historical organizations throughout British Columbia for many years to come. And if I were to describe Jerry in 3 words, it would be supportive, positive, and thoughtful.
Francois Arsenault, who is being acknowledged by Awards Committee member Yukiko Stranger-Gaden.
Francois Arsenault is the volunteer curator and historian of the Vernon Cadet Camp Museum, and his dedication and passion have preserved Canadian cadet history for the future. Understanding that little of Vernon's and indeed Canada's cadet history was being formally preserved, Francois started collecting and archiving artifacts and documents relating to this area over 10 years ago. Only a few years later, he helped mobilize the community to develop what is now the Vernon Cadet Camp Museum. He donated much of his personal collection to the museum and formed a volunteer staff to continue this important work. Since the museum opened 7 years ago, Francois has personally raised over $10,000 in funds and volunteered tens of thousands of hours to the museum. His contribution extends beyond the physical museum. Francois has produced annual documentary films about the Vernon Cadet Training Camp, written or co-written 3 books on the history of cadets, and created a virtual museum. His contribution has also been recognized with the Sovereign's Medal for Volunteers, presented by the Governor General in 2017. Through the creation of the Vernon Cadet Camp Museum and his continued commitment to the community, Francois has preserved an important part of Canadian history. This museum is the only registered cadet museum in Canada, and without it, many important stories and connections would already be lost. Francois continues to engage with the museum's thousands of public and cadet visitors, both in the museum and through social media, with the creation of audio and video content. Francois Arsenault is dedicated, passionate, and engaged.
We want to congratulate all the nominees for their nomination. Good luck in the awards. We have a little segment here for Ryan and I. If anyone needs a short little break to stretch their legs or refill that cocktail, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now so that you can see our beautiful faces. Oh, hi, Tammy. Excellent as well. So this segment we're going to call, Who Are You Wearing? Ryan, who are you wearing?
Oh, this little thing? It's a lovely neoprene piece. Hard to say piece when you're wearing a mask. From the Royal BC Museum gift shop. Lorinda, who are you wearing?
Oh, this little thing? I'm wearing a beautiful Emily Carr printed mask from the Vancouver Art Gallery. Tammy, who are you wearing?
I am wearing the Creston Museum. It's simple, elegant, basic black, goes with everything, slightly prone to shrinking.
I like the black, it's very beautiful.
Yes, and it matches my outfit.
Fantastic, very elegant. You really want to coordinate for award shows.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, what's your favorite thing about your mask?
Well, I'm also wearing this lovely piece from the Art Gallery of Greater Victoria. When I'm going out and I want to maybe dress down a little bit and don't want a mammoth on my face, I wear this lovely floral pattern with flecks of gold, very understated. Tracy, who are you wearing?
Well, when it comes right down to it, I'm wearing Karma. These are our fundraising masks. These came through the Exploration Place, handmade in Burnaby, and we sold close to $14,000 worth of these. PG Strong, friends.
Wow, I see that Christy's wearing a mask. Christy, who are you wearing?
It's true. I'm following on Tracy's footsteps here in regards to ensuring that PG gets some representation with the Exploration Place fundraising masks. They're fabulous.
Beautiful. Anyone else out there got masks going on? I did a quick scroll. I also want to highlight my second mask, which is actually a little bit too big for my face because I have a freakishly small face, and I should have got the children's one. This is a lovely branded mask from the Museum of Surrey. They offer both children and adult sizes, so if you do have smaller faces, I would go for the children's size. But I do like that when I stand back a little bit, it kind of looks like a giant smile. Like that could be like my beautiful teeth. If anyone else has a mask on, I can scroll through the videos just to see what you got going on Spotlight View if you'd like. Otherwise, we can return to our awards show here.
And if anyone is selling a mask as a museum fundraiser, please let the BCMA know because we'd love to promote it on social media.
We absolutely would. Is that another one, Ryan?
Well, you know what the best thing about my Art Gallery of Greater Victoria mask is? It's reversible.
Wow. So really it's a 2-in-1 mask is what you're saying?
Two masks in one.
That's a great deal. I absolutely adore it. Thanks so much,
As
Ryan.
Ryan reveals his previous life as a TV ad commentator.
You betcha. Thanks so much for everyone who is sharing their masks. I really appreciate it. Hopefully everyone had a chance to stretch their legs if they needed to. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Time to announce our winners.
This nominee for the BCMA Award for Outstanding Achievement for Excellence in Community Engagement touched exhibit visitors, engaged the community, and generated a heartfelt interest in a unique and vibrant culture by encouraging community participation and interaction. It set out to build bridges of understanding between cultures and achieve that goal with a wonderful example of an exhibit created by the community for the community. A small initial working group expanded to an extensive network of partnerships and an abundance of programs, events, and exhibits, all voiced by the community, that attracted new audiences and gave a significant segment of the community a new sense of ownership in the museum. The awards committee was absolutely blown away by the scope of true community engagement that this project represents. The BCMA Award for Outstanding Achievement for Excellence in Community Engagement goes to the Museum of Surrey for their 3-year engagement with the Punjabi community of Surrey. Congratulations.
Congratulations. If there's someone here from the Museum of Surrey that
Am
would...
I allowed to
Yep.
Yes, you can unmute, Colleen. That's amazing. Thank you. What an amazing honor. I don't know how long we have. How long do we have?
Brief, like
seconds?
the Oscars.
45 seconds? I don't know. The vision of the Museum of Surrey is to be the best people museum in Canada. And the reason for that is because we truly believe that engagement and connection really will bring people together, allow people to speak the voices that they have, their own stories, and tell their stories. And that's what happened with this exhibit is we spent 3 years getting different people together from the Punjabi communities. And I'm saying communities because the Punjabi community is quite diverse. We got them together, they came together, they enjoyed spending time together at the museum, and with that, they told their own stories. And it's been quite an honor to work with them. People like Sharn, Balbir Gurn, MLA Harry Baines, Vikram Vij, so many people spoke and told their stories at the museum. And it was a real pleasure to invite them in and to bring them in. So really the accolades goes to the Punjabi communities in Surrey. And the accolades also go to our curator of exhibits, Colleen Sharp. And Colleen, I'd love it if you could say a couple of words, because honestly, connection, engagement, is all about the curation and our belief at the Museum of Surrey. Okay, I'm coming back. I'm just like, whoa, okay, how do I do this? Okay, start video somehow. I really want to do that. Okay. Because I'm getting texts from colleagues that are from collections and people that work with us at the museum, and I'm just so proud. And it's the funny thing that comes to mind to me is that I had a hobby in documentary filmmaking for a long time. And the reason I was drawn to that hobby was because unlike fictional films, documentary films are the words of the people. And I really liked that. I liked that I wasn't trying to tell someone else's story. I was letting other people say exactly what they wanted to say. And I'm gonna like start crying because I'm so passionate about this. I really deeply believe that the museum is almost like a stage now, and that our job as curators, although this is uncomfortable, our job as curators is to provide a forum and to provide a stage, and we offer the frame
to put the artwork in. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge every one of these outstanding projects that I saw presented this evening. I was just like, oh, we'll never win. Look at these amazing projects. Look at the Indigenous voices that I'm seeing heard across the province. Look at just so much good work. So just thank you to everyone for the work you do. But I am really proud of the work that we did on this exhibit. I would also just like to really thank the Punjabi Legacy Project. And I mean, we stood on the shoulders of other projects, and Royal BC's project working as well with just similar people, similar community members, but using those as touch points to enter community and to ask others to say, please don't make me do this. This is your voice. Please, please, like, say it in your words. Give us your art, give us your objects, give us your words. And so thank you. And I'm proud to be a coordinator and a facilitator. And I think I wrote a couple really good intro panels that helped explain like what we were doing, but the voice was community. So thank you, Lynn, for being the boss of us and guiding the project and keeping us in line. Sandra Borger, our visitor experience person, who is not watching, but she's texting me, and she said, why did you credit me on that video? And I said, are you kidding me? You were like on there going, make sure it's wheelchair accessible, make sure you're like giving the forum to voices. And she was part of our advisory committee the whole time. And also John Bissett, my exhibits technician, outstanding designer, outstanding, my cat is like, I'm proud of you. John Bissett, amazing. And Jessie McLean, who worked tirelessly, our assistant curator, with community members to listen to stories, to go out to the public engagement sessions, and to artifact and to catalog and bring in the artifacts community offered, and our outstanding committee. Oh my gosh, they were awesome. It is not easy to meet for over a whole year with different people who have very busy schedules, and our committee was so supportive. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Well, congratulations, Museum of Surrey. I would like to digitally present you with your Owlie Award. The team at the BCMA will be sending you this well-deserved Award of Excellence. And congratulations once again on behalf of the BCMA. And drum roll, please. I can announce the winner of the People's Choice Award and recipient of a BCMA mug. And it is also the Museum of Surrey.
Yay!
Double congratulations to you for the great work.
Thank you so much. I look forward to drinking my coffee with that. Or maybe my autumn, yeah, there you go, coffee and owl. Perfect, thank you. It's an honor. It's honestly an honor to be able to connect with people and engage and to really tell the stories of the community in their voice and with their, just love of who they are and their love of how they want to share their own stories. It's amazing when they can have a voice. And so as Colleen shows us her cat, we're very happy.
I can't resist.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to the Museum of Surrey.
And we're going to try to continue the legacy, just so everyone knows, because we're going to try to continue gathering stories and continue helping community have their voice with that particular project.
Fantastic. Let's get on to the next section. Oh, that's just a photo I included. Tammy, take it away.
This nominee for the BCMA Award for Outstanding Achievement for Excellence in Exhibitions embodies recollections, assertions of strength, defiance, and empowerment expressed in a broad range of art forms and media. Co-curated with Rose M. Spahan, Lower Nicola and Totlip Nations, this exhibit acknowledged the terrible history of residential schools with an open mind and heart, encouraging the process of healing. Grief and anger gave way to a celebration of resistance within a sacred, safe place, a place where healing, discussions, and ceremonies were welcomed. The curatorial approach and critical thinking, along with the astounding breadth of engagement with artists, was remarkable. The committee made particular note of the progressive and fundamentally artist-driven nature of the exhibition, of its development and engagement, as something that exemplifies the transformative potential of museums and galleries. The committee is pleased to present the BCMA Award for Outstanding Achievement for Excellence in Exhibitions to Two Rivers Gallery for their exhibit, Redress, the Sacred Obligation, Indigenous Voices on Reconciliation.
If there is anyone here who would like to accept the award, we welcome you to do so now. I see George.
Hello, I wonder if Rose is here. Rose?
I thought I saw her name somewhere.
I see Rose, and I can spotlight her. Oh, where did she go?
Well, while we're waiting for Rose, I would like to thank you. Thank
I'm here.
I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank Rose Khan and my friends and colleagues at Two Rivers Gallery who worked on this project, and certainly to the 22 artists who honored us with their viewpoints and perspectives embodied in this book. In return, in accepting this artwork, I would like to do so in honor of the countless Indigenous people who suffered residential school and their legacy, and in the spirit of working together towards a better world for everyone. Thank you. Rose, are you there?
I'm here.
Rose.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you, George. Thank you, BCMA. The show was excruciating, as these topics are very controversial. I thank the artists for giving their heart and soul to this exhibition. It is a rough patch in Canadian history, and thank you for acknowledging this exhibition. And thank you to Rivers Gallery and all the artists that participated. Haichka.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rose.
And George and Rose, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and congratulations on the excellent exhibit. You'll be being sent a BCMA Owley Award, and we're so happy to have you both join us tonight and celebrate your excellent work.
Haichka.
Thank you. Thank you, Ryan. I'm just going to take your spotlight away so that I can get back to screen sharing. Alrighty, Tammy?
We have two Distinguished Service Awards to present tonight. First is a nominee with a long list of many exceptional accomplishments over the years. Her nominator told us that her knowledge and dedication has provided unparalleled service to both our institution and to the community. This nominee has clearly touched every aspect of her organization and well beyond. Her many hours spent volunteering and mentoring others are remarkable, and she has made a significant impact on a whole generation of museum workers. She has worked at every level of her organization and has shown a tireless dedication to inspiring and engaging others. The committee applauds her lifetime of service as we present the Distinguished Service Award to Barbara Bell of the Greater Vernon Museum and Archives.
We are delighted to receive the award on behalf of Barbara Bell, as she was unable to attend this evening. And we also happen to skip over our honor roll mention for impact and engagement.
Oh, sorry, I didn't have that one.
I can do that one though.
That would be great.
Sure, okay. This nominee was a breath of fresh air. This exhibit was clearly a direct reflection of the community's love and passion. The community was actively engaged in every step of the way, and it serves as a wonderful example of giving people what they really want. This museum understood its community and stimulated museum interest by exploring an activity many of the community embraced wholeheartedly. The committee lauded the museum's efforts and excellence in melding contemporary design, research, and community engagement in this exhibition. The committee would like to award Touchstones Nelson Museum of Art and History the honorable mention for impact and engagement for their exhibition, A Mountain Biking Retrospective. Congratulations. If there's anyone from Touchstone Nelson who'd like to receive this award this evening, I can minimize the screen so that you can do so. Hearing none, Ryan, do you want to receive the award on their behalf?
I'd love to, since it's already in my hands. That's great. Congratulations, Touchstone Nelson, for an excellent and innovative award exhibit. We're so happy to honor you tonight.
Congratulations, Touchstone Nelson.
And my apologies, I seem to have somehow managed to delete that part from my schedule here.
No problem. We're just rolling with what we got here.
Yeah.
And that brought us to the award for Outstanding Achievement Distinguished Service. As Tammy so well summarized, our winner for Distinguished Service Award is Barbara Bell. We received this award on Barbara's behalf and want to thank her for her years of service and contribution to the community. Tammy, we're back on track.
We're back on track. I know where we are. I think I know what I'm supposed to say next.
Fantastic. And this is just a lovely photo of Barbara Bell that I wanted to include. She's got tons of lovely photos out there if you want to take a look at them. There you go, Tammy, back on track.
Okay. Our second recipient for the BCMA Award for Outstanding Achievement for Distinguished Service Award has made significant contributions in a wide range of arts and cultural organizations across BC and has demonstrated incredible energy, commitment, and hard work. She has shown expertise in making connections and building meaningful relationships, which are so needed at a time when we must find new and effective ways of working together. The committee was very impressed with the scope of her impact, not just on the festival she created, but on all the artists and performances the festival has helped to bring to prominence, as well as the range of other festivals, galleries, and organizations that have been impacted by the people she has mentored. The committee is very pleased to present a Distinguished Service Award to Julie Fowler of Island Mountain Arts and Arts Wells Festival.
Congratulations, Julie. If Julie's here and would like to receive the award, I can stop sharing the screen. I feel like I saw Julie's name earlier.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, I hear you. There you are. Take it away.
Wow. Definitely a huge honor and unexpected. And you know, I was part of the BCMA. Now I feel like it must be over 10 years ago that I sat on the board of directors, but it was definitely an important learning experience in my journey with Island Mountain Arts and in Wells. And this honor comes kind of bittersweet because I'm actually in the last month of working for Island Mountain Arts, taking a much needed break after 17 years and such a strange final season to go out on. But yeah, wow, such an honor. Thank you so much. And I'd like to say that I'm actually right now I'm on the traditional territory of the Silk people down in Penticton, but where Island Mountain Arts is up in Wells, where I keep going back and forth. It's been part of my journey the last 14 years as I'm partially in Penticton, part-time up in Wells, sort of half and half. And Wells is actually on the shared territory of 7 different nations in the Secwepemc and Daketh or Carrier language groups. And it's been a true honor to lead that organization and start the festival there. And who knows, you know, what the future of festivals are. We actually started an organization in April called the BC Music Festival Collective, bringing together festivals from across the province as we all tried to navigate and continue to navigate the situation with bringing people together on large scales. And yeah, it's an interesting new experience for all these festivals. And I feel Island Mountain Arts is well placed because we have a gallery, we have an artist in residence program, we do visual arts programs, and the festival. And actually we also do a conference, which that's my final project I'm working on right now. And I'd love to invite everyone to our Northern Exposure Conference that's coming up October 22nd to 25th and it's all virtual, of course, this year. It's our 6th annual, and we bring together rural presenters and arts organizers and artists to do very much like the BCMA has done for many years. And I certainly learned about the importance of conferences and bringing people together through my involvement at BCMA. And yeah, we've just released our schedule for Northern Exposure, so I'll put it in the chat where you can find out more information, because systems change is one of our big topics, and digital strategies, and how to navigate and help the sector move through this, especially in rural places. So thank you so much. It's yeah, true honor. Really surprised. Thank you.
Congratulations. I'm gonna take over back again. Congratulations, and I hope you don't mind the lovely photo I included as well. Congratulations to all of our winners this evening. And Ryan, it's your turn.
Yes, to echo what Lorenda just said, congratulations to all of our nominees and winners tonight. It's been so nice in a challenging year to come together and celebrate some of the great work that's going on in our sector. And I am very excited to announce that next year, the OWL will be traveling to Surrey, British Columbia for our 50th annual conference and award ceremony. Vanessa and I had the extreme pleasure of traveling to Surrey last year, right before everything closed down, and to do site visits and talk to the people and sites and organizations that are going to be making next year such a special event. We were heartbroken when we had to postpone the physical conference this year, and I can honestly not wait to travel to Surrey with this OWL and have an amazing time celebrating an amazing place and amazing people. So the City of Surrey was kind enough to put together a preview video to welcome our delegates to next year's conference. And Lorenda, I would like to throw to the video.
Thank you. Lynn, did you want to say a few words since you're here?
Sure, I can. As you can see in the video, lots go on in Surrey, and Alison Raja from the Surrey Art Gallery, manager Ryan Gallagher of Heritage, which includes the Historic Stewart Farm and Surrey Archives, and myself from the Museum of Surrey, we're really excited to host. This year was obviously a disappointment, but at the same time, we had this awesome virtual conference, and congratulations to all of you in this amazing conference this year. And so we are really excited that we can host this conference next year. We have a really strong and enduring Indigenous community, immigrants from all over the world, parks, waterways, incredible innovation in the technology and sustainability sectors. And honestly, we will blow you guys away with some amazing food. The Punjabi community here has some awesome things to share with all of you. I really believe that this will be an incredible experience for all of us as we get together to learn about each other, share, network, reflect, and celebrate BC's amazing museum, gallery, and cultural sector. In addition, let's not forget that the hotel will be at Surrey Centre, which meaning that it's literally a few feet from the SkyTrain station, so it's easy to get here. We'll have some great food. We'll share some of the cultural amenities in the city of Surrey. And believe it or not, but the city of Surrey is a welcoming space. And we are excited to have you join us in Surrey in 2021. Thank you. And we're looking forward to it.
Thank you so much, Lynn. I also am looking forward to 2021 and meeting there in person with everyone. As much as I have enjoyed this virtual conference we've had this year and seeing all of your lovely faces, I want to say thank you so much to our amazing awards working group, to the BCMA Council, the BCMA staff for making tonight a reality. I also want to congratulate our winners again, Julie, Barbara, the Touchstone Nelson, Museum of Surrey, and Two Rivers Gallery for your wonderful and amazing work in the community that I absolutely love. It's a pleasure to be a part of this rich fabric. And yeah, I just want to thank everyone for a wonderful year. Ryan, any last words?
Well, thank you, Lorinda, and thank you, Tammy, for being excellent co-host tonight. And that wraps up our 49th annual BCMA Awards ceremony. Thank you again to all the attendees, all of the nominees, the awards working group, the conference working group, the BCMA Council, and the amazing team at the BCMA. This has been a trying year, but with everyone's support, we're getting through it together, and it's been an amazing experience. And I'm very happy to announce that we had almost 400 people attend our virtual conference this year, which is double what we would have budgeted for a physical conference. So in some ways, going virtual has allowed us to expand this to many more people. So thank you all. And if you would like to join your colleagues in a toast to the awards, we'll be beginning in moments a after party online on Zoom. So bring a glass, maybe make a second or third cocktail, and we'll see you there. Good night, everyone, and thanks for coming.